Cheers! Hi, my name is MISHA, also known as the Barista Witch. Welcome to my channel. I am your Vedic astrologer, tarot reader, bestie, auntie, lover girl, and I'm here to give you that cosmic tea. I use a combination of Vedic astrology, which is JYOTISH, or astrology from India, and tarot cards. I have an assortment of cards to get into the various transits and how they affect your life. So please make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know whenever a new video drops into your feed. Okay, today's topic of conversation is Venus. Venus rules Friday and the color white. Wear white to embody more Venusian qualities. Venus is the planet of love and relationships and it indicates how we relate to other people and how we express and receive affection. And because Venus rules all things that we desire, it really places emphasis on the things that we value in our life. Venus is also represented by money, so if you ever want to do any meditations or prayer work for a planet for money, Venus is your girl. Venus is associated with sex, love, beauty, aesthetics, harmony, peace, union, creativity, the arts, luxury, affection, and relationships. So from April 25th until May 5th, Venus is going to be in the nakshatra of Ashwini, and that occurs at 0 degrees and 0 minutes of Aries to 13 degrees and 20 minutes of Aries. And Ashwini is this nakshatra that's ruled by the deities who are called the Ashwini Kumaras, and they are twin horses. They're known for their swiftness, being quick, efficient, very fast, speed, charging ahead, always coming first, accomplishing your goals. And the Ashwini Kumars are also associated as being the divine healers or the divine physicians. So this transit of Venus through the nakshatra of Ashwini can bring about a swift healing, transformative quality to any of your relationships, especially if they are romantic. So if you've been going through a rough patch with a partner or a situationship, which don't get me started on a situationship. Actually, I'll get started. If someone is breadcrumbing you, if they are not treating you how you want to be treated, if your affections are not being reciprocated in equal measure, throw them in the trash. And don't dumpster dive, leave it there. So Ashwini, being part of fiery Aries, sees your romantic needs being met with swift efficiency. And Venus is a planet of pleasure and balance and harmony. So there is a tendency to take your time when it comes to pleasure. However, with Venus being in Ashwini, there's this like fast, quick swiftness to wanting to see your needs met. And that means you could have a tendency of rushing into a situation with someone or a dynamic that you normally wouldn't consider. So if someone came to your mind, yeah girl, that's what's happening right now. It's okay. Venus will leave this area by the 5th and that person may also go with it. So let it happen. Try not to fight it. Let it dissipate. The best thing you can do is to honestly trust your gut instinct, trust your best judgment. Don't gaslight yourself. If you see some, red flags, don't paint your nails with it. Again, to the left, please. And in terms of love, with Venus being in this nakshatra, you will feel more emboldened and more courageous to take on these romantic endeavors and pursuits. So again, going after a person or a type that you normally wouldn't. Girl, I was in a cafe the other day and I saw these men. I almost stood up. It was giving Carrie Underwood, Jesus Take the Wheel, because I lost my mind. One thing to know about this transit is that Venus will be aspected by Saturn. And Saturn is the planet of boundaries, restriction, loss, and karma. So there could be this kind of like fated quality to the person that you meet. You may think, this is my karmic destiny. Maybe, but maybe not. It maybe not necessarily your karmic destiny to be with this specific person, but definitely some sort of transformational quality you can definitely glean from whatever this union of sorts will be. When Saturn is involved, Saturn is there to teach you lessons. So maybe with Saturn also being a planet of boundaries, Saturn is there to teach you, what will your boundaries be? How can you actually implement healthy boundaries while you engage in relationships? Since Venus is in this placement of like, go, 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 how can you pull yourself back a little bit, have some more clear and concise way of thinking about it, and actually apply boundaries. Maybe normally if someone has a certain quality or a trait, you tend to overlook it, but then later on you think back and you're like, damn, why did I ignore it? This is the perfect opportunity to use the healing quality of Ashwini, to use the boundary and the restrictiveness of Saturn to make sure that this union, whatever it is as fruitful as it can be for you. So while Venus is going through Ashwini, and there's some good qualities that can come from this, since it is in Aries, it's going to be with the sun. I know the girls are like, it's Taurus season. It is not Taurus season. We are still in Aries season. The sun is only at like 13 degrees of Aries right now, approximately. This is because Western astrology uses the tropical zodiac versus JYOTISH uses the sidereal zodiac. And in Western astrology, they don't factor in the ecliptic, which is Earth's wobble, and that shifts 1 degree every 72 years. So technically, the whole zodiac in Western astrology is shifted by 24 degrees, which if one constellation is 30 degrees, that's like an entire constellation basically. So I grew up thinking like I was a sun Pisces. I'm not, I'm a sun Aquarius. And you could even see here with Stellarium, which is a website that's like this telescope app, the sun is very much in Aries. It's not in Taurus. I'm so sorry. So with that being said, Venus is very close to the sun. And when that occurs, we have combustion. And combustion is not a good thing that we want for a planet, let alone our beautiful Venus. Venus will be combust from April 25th to July 9th. Combustion occurs when a planet is within 10 degrees of the sun. My lineage takes 7 degrees to be like the most that you have to look out for, and that's happening during this transit. So when a planet is really close to the sun, it basically becomes eclipsed and it becomes invisible to the naked eye. And consequently, that means that the planet can't express itself properly, like it's invisible. So all of the qualities and traits of that planet that normally would have been expressed in this external capacity, they become more internalized. And when Venus, the planet of love and relationships, affection and beauty and desires, when Venus becomes eclipsed, that means that all of those Venusian qualities, those become more internal and we're not able to actually express our desires outwardly. And this comes into play as maybe feeling a bit overlooked, underappreciated in a relationship, maybe even feeling like someone else's needs and desires are put before your own because you can't actually express yourself adequately. And it even can translate into an issue arising in your relationship, but you don't feel that you have the capacity or the tools to actually express, to externalize what's going on to your partner. And then instead you internalize it. My anxious avoidant babies, is this ringing any bells? And if you're accustomed to using like your charm and your beauty to get what you want, that's not gonna be able to go down this transit. And you're gonna have to put in a little bit more work, babes. You're gonna have to be a bit more open, a bit more forgiving, a bit more compromising, and it's gonna force you to find harmony. And on the inverse, if you have someone in your life or partner or a friend or I don't know, a colleague who usually they use their charm, their wit, their beauty to kind of get ahead and get what they want, you'll see that those qualities and those traits, they'll be suppressed and they'll have to put in a bit more effort because it's not going to work this time around. They're gonna have to actually be a decent human being and not just charm and woo people. So when Venus is combust, this manifests unfortunately as amplified emotional sensitivity, which translates into irritability and maybe a bit more conflict in your romantic life. And when Venus is combust, this can also, in a way, amplify our desires, and especially on this internal state. So you may find yourself moving really quickly, especially with Venus being in Ashwini, that fast nakshatra, towards some desires or some things you normally wouldn't go for, maybe some things that aren't too good for you. And it could also translate into you or your partner pushing each other to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And the Sun and Venus in Vedic mythology, they are planetary enemies. They do not see eye to eye. They do not like each other. So during this transit, this combustion period, this might limit your ability to find a happy medium to negotiate in matters of love or business. So take a little mental note to be mindful that if you're experiencing some sort of conflict, especially with the sun is this like dominant male father figure, if you're experiencing some sort of conflict or discord in that area, this could be why, and you need to take extra precaution and have a bit extra safeguards to make sure that you can actually get through this transit and find a happy medium and negotiate in whatever capacity works. So some specific dates to look out for during this combustion period that's going to be really intense: May 19th in Taurus, June 1st in Gemini, July 6th in Cancer, and specifically a long period to look out for is June 1st through 12th in Taurus. And you can't have combustion obviously without being conjunct with the sun. So Venus will be conjunct with the sun from April 25th all the way until May 14th. And as planetary enemies, Venus might feel overpowered by the sun, which can translate into, in your own personal life, feeling overpowered by this like dominant figure. You might attract a big personality who's all consuming, the flames of the sun consume everything. So the important thing here is, again, try to embody those Venusian qualities of grace and harmony and compromise to handle this transit and handle that big personality. And the sun being in Aries does give this extra sense of confidence, which can help you overcome this big personality, but just be mindful that it doesn't turn into impulsiveness, or even if you don't feel that courage, it could be from that dominant figure in your life, that you don't turn into like a doormat or kind of rolling over on this big personality kind of taking charge in your life. And a positive thing about the sun and Venus being together is it can spark this intense creativity and with the power to actually see your creative goals through. So again, this is from April 25th to May 14th. If you have any creative projects or endeavors that you're like thinking of doing, now is the perfect time to tap into that creative energy and actually see some progress in whatever those creative pursuits are. That's all I got for you, my loves. Cheers. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, of course, please put them in the comments below. Let me know how this transit is affecting you. If you're experiencing any of this sauciness with Venus, if you're experiencing this like dominant personality type, let me know. Give me the tea. I want to know all about your love life, even if it's a little messy, like still tell me. And if you want to know how this transit affects you specifically, you can reach me at MISHA@thebaristawitch.com. Give me your questions. We can schedule a reading. And if you would like further insight into the various transits that will be coming up, head on over to patreon.com/thebaristawitch, where I have made this wonderful little guide that comes with your subscription for every single major transit for the spring quarter. And it's stunning, beautiful, gorgeous. I made it all by myself, all in my ones, and you get it immediately when you sign up for patreon.com. And if you would like to know how this transit affects you specifically, I do tarot spreads corresponding to all of the rising signs, and we can even throw in your moon sign to see exactly how this Venus transit will affect you using tarot cards and oracle cards laid over your natal chart. Thank you so much. I love you. Turn your notifications on. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do all of the things to make sure that I stay in your feed. Share me with your friends, whatever you need to do so that we stay connected. Thank you for joining the Cafe Coven, and I love you. Okay, bye!